Ladies and gentlemen, send in the clowns. Oh, welcome everyone to Teal Town, USA After Dark. After a game at 7 victory, we go live now. Give him the cue. Eric, you are on.
Good evening, Sharks fans! Oh my God, this place is going nuts! Oh, let's speak for yourself! If that's not the greatest intro to Teal Town After Dark, I don't know what will. Oh my God, this game, unbelievable. Hands down, probably the greatest home game. Probably the greatest home game in Sharks browsing. Unbelievable. As this place is still going nuts. They actually cordoned off one of the entrances off. So everybody's exiting this way right now. But my God, this place was electric before the game. There was electric during the game. Unfortunately, when they were down 3-0, it was crazy. People aren't leaving. They are not leaving. And I can't blame them because this is unbelievable. This place, this game, forever will be entrenched in Sharks.
Oh, well, wouldn't it be Puckguy to go AOL on us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know what?
I'm speechless, guys.
You're back.
I
You're back.
really am. I was getting ready to head upstairs when the Pavelski hit took place. And then I stood by 113, had a clear shot of all 4 power play goals of this game. And I got to tell you, this was absolutely an electric place, especially when they made it 3-2, when they tied up at 3-3. And then at 4-3, this place went absolutely bonkers. Oh my goodness. I wish you all could be here. And it's the 25th anniversary of the Sharks' first home playoff win. 25 years later, it is probably going to be remembered as one of the biggest wins in the history of SAP Center.
Well,
and with that, I can't hear you guys, so I'm going to send it back to you.
You can't hear me.
Be safe out there. Guys, take it away. Have a great one.
Thank you, Puckguy. AJ?
I was really hoping to find out if he had my towel.
We're going to the second round.
Yes, we're going to the second round. We have vanquished, ladies and gentlemen, the Vegas roadblock, if you will, similar to 2016. And I think we talked about this last time, that if they were to get past this game, it would be huge, because you look what happened in 2016. The LA Kings were the big roadblock that everybody was having. You know, the Sharks just couldn't get over that hump, and they did it. And now they've done this. And let's be honest, boys, before we dive into this, into the game, period by period, could the path to the final be laid out any better? Now, that's not discounting anything from the Colorado Avalanche or Dallas or St. Louis whatsoever. It's not discounting them at all. However, the Sharks had a hard time with Calgary this season. They're 3-0 versus the Avalanche in this regular season. So just saying.
Hey, AJ, before you go any farther, I think that we need to address the elephant in the room, though. It was 3-0.
It was 3-0.
Twice.
Yeah. How have we not tweeted that out? Excuse me while I get on here.
I mean, just incredible comeback by these guys. I mean, they were dead to rights in the series. They were dead to rights in this game.
Yep.
And it takes a vicious vicious hit for them to come back into this. It's interesting because I have been checking in on Twitter, and thank you very much to all 90 of you watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that red button. We're going to cue the catch us everywhere and the be a part of the show graphics soon.
Yeah,
but guys, I mean, I was shocked at some of the spouting off on Twitter by
let's not even go there.
Yeah, let's not do that.
It's really not worth it.
It isn't. It really isn't. But you know what? I think from a humanitarian standpoint, I think we all just have to kind of make sure that we kind of keep Pavs in our minds, because it was vicious. It was vicious, and he was bleeding all over, and you could see Jumbo visibly shaken as he was taking him back. Really the catalyst to all of this. And yeah, it's just incredible. They did it for their captain, and I'm so happy. If I could borrow a hurdleism.
Yeah. Well, let's if anybody in the chat of the lovely people watching us right now, if you pick up anything, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on TV, if you hear anything about our captain, please pass along that information to the chat. We would appreciate it. But let's dive into this one, boys and girls.
Well, first, if you want to be a part of the show, use the hashtag tealtownusa and follow us on Twitter. Hit us up in our DMs. We've got at Al Martinet and at AJ_strong. Of course, you can always use the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and of course the YouTube chat. We try to monitor this thing, and we try to get your questions on air. But AJ, sorry to steal your thunder. Go for it, buddy.
No problem. So we know just from the get-go for Vegas, Belmar was out for this one. And as we also saw, Donskoy was out, Radil in, likely stemming from the hit from McNabb that Donskoy sustained in Game 6. That was a hellacious hit. I'm not saying it was dirty, so everybody calm down.
It was a hockey hit.
Yeah. So at 1:56 of the first period, Miller would hook LeBanc. Sharks would go on a power play less than 2 minutes into this. Didn't look great, guys. Did not look great. Then soon as that, within seconds of that power play expiring, McNabb would cross-check Hurdle at 4:15. Sharks get another quick power play and yet aren't able to do a whole lot with it. Now, then you get to the poor part where at 10:10 of the first, William Karlsson from Marcia Shaw and Smith. It's just William Karlsson, Eric, he buried the garbage.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it looked like Vegas was the hungrier team kind of coming out. I mean, the Sharks did have some good looks on net, but that garbage in front of the goal, you could just see Vegas kind of sniffing around it, and they made the most of their opportunities, what little opportunities they did have. And you know what? On that goal, Karlsson just sniffed it out and got the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, you got to credit them, Al. I mean, they scored on their third shot. And the Sharks had 11 shots up to that point.
Yeah, up to that point, I thought the Sharks were playing pretty well. It's just anytime they were playing too much of a just they were not playing smart hockey. They were not putting shots toward the net, and essentially they were passing way too much. I know LeBanc in the first period, maybe in the second period, was essentially doing what he's been always doing this season. Passing. He has a great wrist shot, and we saw in that third period, but a lot of the Sharks were always passing and hoping to get the next great shot, not putting stuff on Fleury, who had a decent game tonight, but we don't know if he was coming down with something, but it looked like he was having some arm issue with his wrist. Seemed like his glove hand wasn't as great as it used to be.
Yeah. Thank you, Burge.
Yeah, thank you, Burge. In the chat, good news. Sharks coming to Denver. Beats the hell out of spending for a hotel and ticket. Absolutely. If you're local to Denver, hey now.
The Sharks are just quickly, the Sharks are the highest seed remaining in the Western Conference, guys. We start out with home ice.
And Boston is the highest in the East.
Yeah. Home ice throughout. So 12:36, EK65 would get caught for tripping Peary. Didn't last that long, just over a minute, as Tuck would interfere with Braun. So we get 4-on-4. Sharks end up getting about 50 seconds of power play time. Again, don't do much with their power play in this game. They actually were. Wait a minute. There's no way that's right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at a different stat. So they didn't do anything with their power play, at least in the first period. The third period, it's a little,
second period.
Yeah, a little different story. So as we get to the second period, at 6:22, Reeves, that's right, Reeves would finally get called for his first minor penalty of this series, if you can believe that. He'd get caught for tripping Jones. Now, I'll tell you, Eric, out of all the things that Reeves could have been called for, I kind of felt like this was incidental contact.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree with you there. And, the inability and the ineffectiveness on the power play, I thought was going to haunt this team. I mean, because honestly, they looked just, I don't know if it was, being caught up in the moment of game 7 or just the inability to, get those passes together because of nerves, but going through the neutral zone, they were sloppy. Their passes in the offensive zone was sloppy, tentative to shoot. The power play just looked like hot garbage.
Yeah, I mean, both you and Al touched on it. It's I don't know why they just couldn't find any type of a rhythm on the power play. It even looked like they were having difficulty entering the zone half the time. So,
I mean, coming into before the third period, I think everything's like before the third period for this game. But before the third period, the Sharks were 2 for 25 for the series, and then everything kind of changed as soon as that Pavelski hit. And
well, we'll get to that. That was third.
Yeah.
But we got to go period by period, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, there's only 2 things that happened, and those were the Vegas goals.
We'll see you. We see you in the chat, Jerry. Thank you. So at 10 minutes, Eakin, it's a high stick tip in. Now this was, right at the middle of the game. And I love Skyler here with just going full blown 5 for the Sharks goals, 23 for that game winner, and bring on the Avs. Yeah, baby. Need to get that warm up puck. So Cody Eakin scores literally at the halfway point of this game. And Al, was this one a high stick? Should this been a high touch to you or not?
So my first reaction was that this is not a high stick, but when I saw the second angle, the one towards Eakin, I kind of shifted my opinion towards it. But if your first reaction is this is not a high stick, I think the call on the ice is probably the smart one to stay with. And give Vegas a lot of credit. I mean, like, they played hard. They did what they want with the chances. And that third goal is probably the one I would probably point at more. But that second...
Are you laughing at that Christian?
I love Christian.
We were all...
He's trying to fund my Sharks habit, and I appreciate that.
Let's save the super chats for the end. But like, I don't blame Jones at all, and I think it was a great call or a great no call not to wave it off. As much as it's easy for me to say that now, as the Sharks have come back, but even so, even with the Sharks, it was 3-0 Vegas. It's a good call to have.
Yeah, Eric, I'll tell you, I'm kind of in the same boat with Al. It's like you look at it from one angle and it's like, it looks all right. And then you look at it from another angle and you're like, I don't know. But factor of the matter is they went with the call on the ice. There was not enough to overturn it, which at least the one thing we can talk about when it comes to officiating is at least with that, they're consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it the same way, guys. On first thought, it was high. To me, it looked high, but I thought, okay, what was the call on the ice? It was called a good goal. There wasn't a clear, definitive view to overturn it, and that's the to me what the biggest factor was. I don't know if they said the call was confirmed or the call was stands, but
the call stands.
Yeah.
Call stands, yeah. So, there wasn't enough to overturn that. But you know what? It was above his shoulders when the puck got deflected. And for people, I know it's very, very confusing. Outside of the blue paint, it is your shoulders is the the height rule inside the blue paint, it is the goal post. So even though it was definitely over the goal post, because he was outside, you do have the ability to tip it underneath the shoulders, and that's where a lot of the confusion comes from. But guys, it looked high to me.
Also, the camera angle makes it look like it's higher than it really is, and so maybe we're talking about a little bit of a difference, but maybe it probably wasn't.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To all 150 of you watching right now, we really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. Use the little bell to get the notifications when we go live. However, if you are a regular, you do know that we go live after every game, win or lose, rain or shine, day or night. That's what we do, folks.
Sometimes late into the night, and this may be one of those. Just warning you, we got to let our affiliates know we may run a little long this evening. The other thing, just let's finish off with the high stick argument. Aaron Ward at NHL_Aaron Ward tweeted out, good news about the Ekin goal review. It says, good news, in about a year with puck tracking, the NHL will get not only the X and Y of the puck, but also the Z that will give the exact height where the puck gets tipped. Fewer review delays and an end to the guessing. By the way, it looked high. So
yeah.
By the way, they won't use half of that technology.
Exactly right. They'll have the technology, but just like the NHL always loves to implement horribly, they'll have a small iPad to watch, the stats.
Yeah. So we move on, and so at the end of 2, I got to say, I'm not feeling great. Sharks are down 2-0, and I'm kind of like, if they can just squeak one, if they can just get something, because you saw so many fans. There were so many fans. I thought the net was going to blow off. You saw Melker fan on a clean shot. You saw Braun fan on a clean shot. I mean, that were just like point blank. So just unbelievable.
Also, the opportunities they got always seemed to bounce right, but out of the net or left of the net. It just seemed like it was not going to bounce the Sharks' way tonight.
Nope, not at all.
Guys, I mean, and to be honest, everybody looked flat-footed. I mean, not just the Sharks players, but
they all looked like they'd played double overtime 2 days ago.
Exactly.
And they played Joachim Ryan for 2 minutes. Yeah, that's totally the case.
Well, actually, in that third period, when we do get to it, he did have some really good shifts and in overtime as well. So go ahead, AJ, finish us off with the wrap-up.
Yeah, because I got to be honest, going into the third, I was speculating, look, you're down by 3 goals. Oh, by the way, is my to the chat, is my mic better? I saw something about it being too low. So if it's better now, let me know. So going into the third, I was, look, I was kind of starting to go, all right, well, what are we going to talk about? And, what there's going to be talk about, what moves do the Sharks make? Who do you keep? That's what I figured the show was going to be a lot about. But I was just kind of like, if they can just bury one of these. And then at 3:36 to start, it'd be good if I could angle it to block my face. Okay, so
we do have news. Al, can you go ahead and give us the news on Pavelski, please?
Oh, wait a minute. Waiting for confirmation. So let's
Shang. Well, I've got it here. Shang Pang, Fear the Finn writer, awesome guy. Both LeBanc and Hurdle say Pavelski's okay and should be back soon. So
soon is a relative term.
Yeah, let's just wait until probably a little bit later tonight.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. We're probably not going to hear much more than what Shang offered. The Sharks are going to play it close to the vest.
Yeah, definitely. And all 170 of you watching, really appreciate it. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram as well at tealtownusa on both of those. Had some fun with some clown images, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But at 3:36 of the third, to start getting into the last period, at least the last one in regulation, Pat Giaretti would go 5-hole. That was the one where I looked at it and I was like, you know what, Eric, Jones needs. That's the one. I don't fault Jones for the first two. That third one, I just went, oh my God, this is going to be like the microcosm of the Sharks season right here.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think I think he was off angle there. He was still in the, I guess, getting set position. His positioning did not look great in that third period. We're going to talk about the epic comeback and Vegas tying it up. And you know what? His positioning in that third period, to me at least, was not great.
I thought it was fine. I thought what gave that goal for Pacioretty was he waited, and that he allowed himself to essentially aim the shot in the right spot. And so
he actually had another second to get that off.
Most of that is the transition defense, but the Sharks were really pressing. They were trying to send 4 instead of the usual 3. But at that point, you don't blame PDP for doing that.
Yeah. So
we do have a turtleneck sighting.
You do, actually, because I just got back from my hockey game.
Yeah, and I can't hear him, so
that's all right. I'll direct on that one. Kevin, I mean, I know that you just got back. What's your initial thoughts right now?
I just wanted to tell you guys, so I was playing at Silver Creek Sportsplex tonight, and all of the games stopped. Now, mind you, my game stopped because of a line brawl. But that fact aside, all 3 rinks completely stopped when Barclay Goodrow scored, and just everything's going insane. So I had to tell you guys that it was a time-stopping goal for Barclay Goodrow. Absolutely unbelievable. So, and listen to the radio feed. If you guys can pipe in Rusanowski's calls, unbelievable. So,
hey, AJ, can we pipe in Rusanowski's call on the overtime? Kevin saying it was pretty epic.
I don't have it on me right now, but if you can send it to me, I can see what I can do.
I ripped it on my phone, so I will get that to you right now.
Okay, Kevin ripped it on his phone, and he's going to send it on over.
Have a great show, guys.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
See you, Kevin.
AJ, back to you.
Let's see. Where was I?
You were
threw me for a left turn.
Thanks,
Kev.
Let's get to Pavelski.
So at 9:13, this is when everything turned around for the Sharks. So essentially 6 minutes after the Sharks go down 3-0, Pavelski takes a hit off the faceoff, first by Eakin, then followed up by Stastny. And I said this on my personal Twitter account. I really didn't have much of a problem with the hit from Eakin off the faceoff. Was it a cross check? Yes. Are they going to call that in a game 7? Probably not. That wasn't the hit that I had the problem with. The problem that I had was you've got Pavelski already kind of like off balance, and then Stastny follows up with a second hit. And if you go back and look at the GIF, and again, as always, we do our best to GIF all the moments that happen in a game, which you can find on our tealtownusa Twitter account. But if you go back and look at the secondary tweet about that, where it's a closer look from the hit, you actually see Stastny hit and then like push him down. And that to me was what caused the most damage. I think if Stastny had gone out with his stick, I don't know that it would have been as bad, but it was Stastny pushing down on it. It's not that one. You're going to have to find the different one, the one that says closer look. But
that'll do for right now.
Well, yeah, but the other one makes my point. But anyway, yeah, that's, I mean, and there's
it was horrible. Let's just fate. I mean, the optics of it was horrible. I mean, you've got him bleeding all over the ice. But guys, this happened because of poor officiating throughout this entire series and people taking liberties upon people. We've seen it throughout the playoffs. And if this does not incur something from the league to take a look at how the officiating changes during the playoffs, people are going to get hurt. And you know what? It's lucky that it was not worse than it is. And we don't know exactly what's happened, but I'm sure he's got a concussion. It got him again in the mouth area. I mean, the head area. So he's not feeling great. but it's Bush League. And you're hitting a guy while he's down.
Well, no, he wasn't down at the time, though.
Well, he was falling down. He was falling down.
Again, the Stastny thing, I think it's a case of, again, I don't think Stastny has to push him down like that. I also think it's a case of, for Vegas, it's a heat of the moment play. You don't mean to do that, but you're just trying to, do what you can. I can see it, at least I can understand a Golden Knights fan. I can understand their point of view to a certain extent. But again, I talk about the push down, not the push out, but the push down on Pavelski. That's what slammed his head on the ice. But
this is from Joe on the injury, actually. For Pavs, Thornton also said the injury to Pavelski almost made him cry. What a night and what a game. I mean, for Jumbo to almost be in tears, I mean, he is a gamer.
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about Jumbo's the guy who, skated off with Pavs holding the towel to the side of his head because of the blood.
Yeah. And Pavs, Kane, and Hurdle.
Yeah. And I saw even on Twitter that they said, that there was still, they couldn't get that red spot out of the ice for the rest of the game. It was still there.
Yeah, I don't. And so at a minimum, it's a double minor. It's a 4-minute power play. But for people, I mean, again, I don't see where anybody has any 2 feet to stand on saying that there was an embellishment or there was, it like I said, I'm not going to go into the Twitter ranting, and I'm not going to go into the call, but in my mind, that was the correct call. A major should have been called. A player was bodily harm to a player.
Well, either way, it's something that can be debated, and I'm sure will be debated on podcasts for the next 24 to 48 hours. It'll be debated on all the NHL channels. That it'll be replayed 1,000 bajillion times, and I think we can just kind of leave it there for now. It's if you're, to me, it's like, I don't want to hear what a Sharks fan says. I don't want to hear what a Vegas fan says. I want to hear from, somebody who has played the game but doesn't have a dog in the fight. I'd be interested in hearing some of those takes. And like I said, I'm sure we'll hear some of those on NHL Network tomorrow or later tonight, whatever. But what happened was a 5-minute major was awarded to San Jose. Now, you can sit there as a Vegas fan and go, oh, that, it's a bullshit call. They shouldn't have gotten 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can make that, but then you also have to make the case of, well, your team let in 4 goals in 3 minutes.
Yes.
You couldn't kill any of that. And let's be honest, the Sharks came really close to scoring a 5th one in the final 40 seconds of that power play.
Yeah. So, I mean, just rolling through it, Logan Couture with his 5th goal in the series, LeBanc and Hurdle, and you will hear LeBanc's name quite often in this sequence. I mean, Logan, after he scored that goal, he says, okay, he puts up a finger and he says, 1, he's like, we need 2 more. And, he was very fired up. I think that's the most animated I've ever seen Logan on the ice.
Yeah. So we start the shooting gallery with Logan Couture from LeBanc and Hurdle at 9:20. Of course, all of these coming on the power play. Then just 50 seconds later, Tomas Hurdle from EK65 and again LeBanc 10:09. Yep. Then 12:53 Couture yet again from Burns and you guessed it, LeBanc 12:53 from the power play, and then finally at 13:21 on the power play. Oh, Kevin LeBanc from Timo Meier. You can see that LeBanc was factored in quite well in this. And if I remember correctly on the morning skate from Facebook, the Randy Hahn, that was his guy, was LeBanc. So good call there, Honor. And you had to feel really good about that when you were a Sharks fan. Like when you get the one, you're like, okay, well, because the first one came very quickly. It was like within the first 17 seconds of the 5-minute major, you had to feel, well, okay, they got the one. And then less than a minute later, Hurdle. And then it went about a minute or so, and you're like, oh, come on. And then they tied it. And at that point, you had to be like, Holy shit, Eric.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And to all 200 plus of you watching, really appreciate it. Again, follow at tealtownusa on Twitter. Follow us at our website, tealtownusa.com. Again, subscribe. But, the momentum, the sheer momentum, you could feel it coming through that TV. As soon as Logan ties that game up, that you felt that the Sharks were going to pull this out. Kevin LeBanc with just a monster game, 4 points, 3 assists, and 1 goal. I mean, the kid clearly was the best skater on either side tonight, and I could not be more happy for him. Again, we talk about his up and down season this year. He posted a 50-point plus season. Last year, he had a quiet 40 points, just maturity out of the kid, really growing up in front of our eyes. And his 4th goal will probably live on for a long time in Sharks lore. That is for sure.
It was
especially this playoff performance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But just when you thought like, okay, you've got the lead, all you need to do is lock it down. Well, you give up a power play opportunity, and luckily you're able to kill that. But with 17 seconds left in it and just a couple minutes left in the game, Vegas decides to pull the flower, and it rolls for a little bit. And you're thinking, okay, they're going to do. And then with 47 seconds left, Marcia Shaw would tie it up and send us into OT.
And so this is the goal that I have the problem with Jones. And he is not hugging that post enough. He leaves his shoulder area. I mean, basically, he's just not set well. And guys, I mean, that's the backbreaker goal. I thought that, man, once he gave that up, that was going to deflate the momentum. Those are those squeakers that we have seen him consistently give up, and it's been in his game the entire year. And boy, he is sure lucky that one did not come to bite him back in the butt.
Absolutely. But after that 4th goal from the Sharks, there was a 5-minute stretch where Vegas was all at it. They were trying to get that 4th goal. The Sharks had 0 offensive power play or any performance to give Jones some relief. And on that goal, Joe Thorne kind of let his man free. And, that's probably like...
Guys are so gassed at this point.
I know, but like you have to at least give, maybe 1 minute of offensive action just to free up your defense. But the entire offense and defense was gassed. And that I more or less bring the issue with that goal, not Jones hugging the post. Even though you're absolutely right, Eric, it's just at that point you're facing now, I think it was about 15 shots or about nine shots in that span. Vegas earned that goal. They absolutely did.
Oh yeah, for sure. And good on Marchessault for picking that spot, because that's been a consistent weak spot for Martin Jones through the series and quite honestly throughout the season. I mean, he's giving up those soft squeakers going right underneath the armpit kind of area, right? He's just not able to squeeze that puck in. But you know what? We somehow will it to overtime, and oh boy, you thought that it was pandemonium and craziness and on the edge of your seat, nail biting. The overtime was an entirely different beast and more of the same.
We do have something from Twitter right now from Logan Couture. Chirp chirp. LOL. Thank you, Sharks fans. That was incredible. On to round 2. We'll get to that in just a moment. So we head to the overtime period. I'll be the first to say I thought that there were stretches where both teams. I thought it's weird. I thought the Sharks played smarter in the overtime, but I thought Vegas was faster. If that makes any sense. I think
they had the fresher legs.
Vegas looked fresher, but I thought the Sharks made some better decisions.
I also think they were both being kind of conservative. I think Vegas was definitely trying to go for the first goal in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But after that 4th-minute mark, and I think it was 9 minutes in when the Sharks scored.
That was 18, dude.
Like 9 minutes and 18, but like it really did feel like the Sharks, like after they got the second icing and they started to put the new clean off the ice, things started to change. They would regather their feet. That for me is when things kind of changed. It seemed like Vegas didn't really have any offensive game plan afterwards. And I give Vegas a lot of credit. I mean, they were in this game all the way through. It's just that one hit really did change the entire landscape of the game.
It did. It really did. Like the karma was a pain. Karma was a beast, I suppose. So anyway, look, we knew that PDB was going to shorten his bench. We knew that was going to happen. You want your best players out there. Now, I don't know if Kane fits under the umbrella of best player tonight. I thought tonight was one of Kane's worst games.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But, you saw PDB go with the short bench, and I think that was expected. But lo and behold, with just a couple minutes left on the clock, that's when PDB decided to, shake the dog treats, jiggle the leash, and get Goodrow out of the doghouse and throws him out here, and boom, gets rewarded. Barclay Goodrow at 18-19 of the overtime from EK65 and Sorensen to get the game winner. I mean, you talk about a guy who he's been in the doghouse in and out, left and right. And you also have to give a little bit of credit. I can go both ways on this. Yes, Erik Karlsson had 2 assists tonight. I thought there was a couple times though that he easily could have been on the hook. I mean, he had 2 assists tonight. He's also a -1. If that says something to you.
I mean, before the third period, he was a -2. So
yeah,
I mean, he wasn't playing a smart hockey. A lot of turnovers.
For me, he thinks he's faster than he is.
Oh, well, right, and he's still playing hurt, guys. And thank you, Derek. Really appreciate it. Yeah, he looked like a guy that's playing through a torn groin, guys. I mean, I think that was what the injury was.
And I don't have a problem with that. And yes, we know plus minus is stupid. But it might be a stupid stat. It also provides weight to an argument that you're making. So anyway,
I don't know. I felt like he played a decent game tonight and really did. In the third and fourth period, third and overtime, really did help transition the puck from the defense to offensive zone. And that was crucial. I mean, the Sharks were really tired at that point, and both teams were really tired, but you need that, especially at that point of the game.
Well, I thought he had a decent night, but there were more than a couple of times where you could see that because of his injury, he still thinks he's faster than he actually is. He's used to skating at 40 miles an hour, and right now, because of his injury, he can only skate at 30, but he feels like he can skate at 40. And there was more than a couple times where typically when a defender gets behind him, usually he's going to catch him. And there's a couple times he got blown by and he was unable to catch him. But
yeah, I mean, but let's also 70% of Erik Karlsson is still better than nothing, right? And I mean, the guy is super creative.
That argument again. I'm just saying that he thinks he's faster than he is right now. When he gets his legs back, then then we're all good.
Very true. And yeah, I totally agree with you there, AJ. You know what? Just incredible. And, let's talk about Barclay Goodrow. I mean, 2 incredible overtime winners. This is a guy who I followed through junior in Brampton and played his overage year in Brampton. He was the captain. People looked at him and said, okay, this is a guy that can score a lot in junior. He put up really amazing numbers in his overage year, meaning he was a 19-year-old playing with, upper 18-year-olds is the upper age limit. So, a little bit of fool's gold, a guy that has been in and out Todd McClellan's doghouse, a guy that was in and out of Peter DeBoer's doghouse, and just coming up with 2 incredibly clutch goals, guys. I mean, you got to feel so happy for him because he toiled away in the minors. he got up to the NHL, then sent back down, kind of had a little bit of boo-boo face, but then came back and really put in the effort and rewarded, and such a hard worker.
Yeah, the same can be said for LeBanc. Last year didn't really find his game. Now this year, it seems like he's really coming into the player that we kind of see the potential of. So both players really critical tonight. Would like to see more Goodrow though. I didn't really have a problem with. He only got 7 minutes tonight. Ryan got 9 minutes, which seems really low considering that Erik Karlsson got 34 minutes. So feels like it feels like the defense could be a little bit spread out. Time could be a little bit more divided, but I'm not going to complain with the result.
Well, let's get into the numbers here. On defense, I mean, Joakim Ryan and Brendan Dillon both not cracking double digits. Look, Ryan, we get it. We've seen that game before. I mean, what was it? It was like game one, he played all of 318 or something, or was it the last game? I can't remember, but I mean, was getting I think it was actually game 6, played like 318. But Brendan Dillon not even cracking 10 minutes. That is a little shocking to me. I mean, Brent Burns. That's not the first time I've made that mistake. It probably won't be the last. But Burns, almost 40 minutes tonight. And then the other number too that is kind of funny, only because the Sharks got the win. But again, Martin Jones tonight doesn't crack 900 on the save percentage yet again. Then we get into the forwards, like you said, Goodrow only 726, so nice to see him get that, the winner in OT. But the one that obviously stands out, Lucas Radil, 236 and a -1. Like, it was so bad. And I think it was just he got beat really early, or actually he didn't get beat. He blew the coverage. He went.
Yeah, he blew it. He blew it.
He did not pick up coverage. And I think once PDB saw that, he went, okay, and you can have a night. You can go sit on the bench. Keep the door well open and well closed because you're gone. That was horrible. But relying on the big guy, Tomas Hertl, who was just, I mean, he's my series MVP.
Absolutely has to be.
He's the MVP of the season, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the guy was that incredible, that integral, switching from wing to center halfway through the season and just thriving in a position that we didn't know if he was going to ever be able to thrive in. He'd been tried there multiple times and was unable to really capture any kind of success there. And they tried it one more time, and he really rewarded the faith that PDB put into him. I just want to say thank you, Vegas Golden Knights coverage. You know what? You guys keep it real. You keep it real. Really appreciate it. You guys, he always brings the gamesmanship. And also Sinbin Vegas. They were also really, really kind to us and really reached out, and were a great interview to have too.
I don't know which one of you has the dog, but can you mellow it out? give it a steak or something, throw a steak at it. Let's get into the forward numbers here. Again, Hertl owning it with 30 minutes tonight. The only forward to crack 30 all. Again, Evander Kane was only a minute behind him in time, although you'd be hard pressed to find out how with the game he had tonight. But somehow, some way, Timo Meier, you talk about a guy who was snake, but shots on goal, 10 shots on goal tonight, could not find the back of the twine tonight. That was staggering to me. I couldn't believe it.
He had 5 in the overtime.
Yeah, I mean, it was just insane. But final numbers. Now, remember, parse this a little bit with game 6 that went to double overtime, where the Sharks gave up 30 more shots than they took, 59-29. Tonight, a little different story. The Sharks, 48 shots on goal. Golden Knights, 38. Face-off circle, almost dead even, 51% for the Golden Knights, 49% for the Sharks. Again, Golden Knights, this is another key tonight. The Golden Knights did have 2 opportunities on the power play, although one, as we know, was truncated after Tuck took the interference call on Braun. But they went 0 for 2. The Sharks, of course, 4 for 9 because of the 5-minute major. Again, leading to 23 penalty minutes for the Golden Knights, 4 for the Sharks. Golden Knights, no surprise, out-hit the Sharks 42-32, but at least it wasn't the shit show we saw in Game 6 where the local Vegas, whoever's counting hits in Vegas needs to, like, I mean, I just want to like sit next to him while he's doing it because, I was listening to NHL Network and they pointed it out. He's like, what do you like when Donskoy got hit? Did they award like 6 hits?
Yeah, exactly. I heard the same exact thing as well.
80 hits for the Knights in Game 6. 80 tonight, a little different. 42-32 in favor of the Knights, but yeah, that the hit counter in Vegas, I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. It's like it's almost like he thinks it's like a progressive slot machine or something. 25 blocks for the Knights, 16 for the Sharks, and giveaways were even at 13 apiece. So that's kind of the final numbers for that. Now I think we really need to address the elephant in the room. Everybody do it with me now. Send in the clowns, boys and girls. Now, if you don't know what that's about, the coach of the Vegas Golden Knights called the coach of the San Jose Sharks a clown. Okay? Called him a clown for the comments that he made, basically about Gallant chirping Couture, basically saying that Couture dived even though he literally had teeth sitting on the ice. And so, it is what it is. But that ended up sparking a little bit. If only that had happened the day before, like it had gone public the day before, fans would have had more time to gather, more time to get it together, because I did notice a couple guys on the glass had the rainbow clown wigs. I know that one of our loyal viewers was on Twitter like, I'm going to Walgreens, I'm buying a box of red noses that, for the red nose day, I'm going to like be giving these out at section 128. I mean, everybody was taking it to the next level. There were people on the post-game show holding up shirts that had clown faces on it. I mean, people, it's kind of like, if you think about it, 2015, 2016, they kind of rallied around the black cat, Joe Pavelski. Maybe this is kind of a rally point going forward. The whole,
No,
I like it. Carolina had the hashtag bunch of jerks. This is, we could be bunch of clowns, send in the clowns. Hey, the clowns are being sent into the second round. That's rally clown, baby. Hashtag rally clown. I'm down with that.
Hashtag rally clown.
Down with the clown. I can already say, we're copywriting that, and that'll be on a t-shirt in about a week. But yeah, down with the clown, baby.
Hold for $35 at the Shark store.
You know what? I would have loved to have seen Peter DeBoer have a clown nose and hand it to Gerard Gallant in the handshake line.
I just would have wanted to see PDB do his post game with just the red ball nose. I think that would have been great. That would have been
you can always edit,
exactly. Yeah, somebody get on that and video that. Yeah, put the red nose on PDB. But I think that would have been great, because you know what, people would have been talking about that post game. I guarantee you right now. That would have been a half an hour.
I want to get to a quick stat here. San Jose Sharks scored 4 power play goals in the span of 4 minutes and 1 second to take a 4-3 lead in Game 7. That matches the NHL record for power play goals in a playoff period.
Okay, hold on. Laurel, they didn't say anything wrong. I don't think you need to ban hammer everybody so quickly. I love you, Laurel, but there was no foul language or anything like that. And what the comment was in the chat was that the Sharks didn't beat anybody. The refs handed it to you. As far as when I looked, the refs didn't give up 4 goals in 4 minutes. The refs didn't score 4 goals in 4 minutes.
And it's not like they didn't have a penalty kill on the ice, with like 4 guys that could have stopped something. So, saltiness, yes, I get it, but you know what? The penalty kill should have been there because the Sharks power play looked anemic throughout the entire series. So
and Laurel explaining he was disrespectful earlier and rude. Okay, then yeah, drop the ban hammer. But but just when I sit there and hear anybody saying, "Oh," about the officials, all I do is I point to let me see. Game 2, when they literally stole a goal from Couture and threw him a goalie interference. And then you go and you look what happened between Toronto and Boston, where there was no goalie interference. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then if we also go back, you go back and you look at the Teal Town USA Twitter, please follow it if you don't already. You can see, again, we gif all the plays, everything that we see happening in the game. And there is like literally, trip. The last game, Evander Kane slew-footed, no call. Braun slew-footed, no call. Then Timo puts out a stick. Oh, and remember, Brendan Dillon literally had a Vegas Golden Knights stick in his skate and no call. And then Timo goes to poke. Vegas Golden Knight trips. Boom. Now it's a call. So, you can sit there. To me, this was just karma. This was the pendulum swinging the other way.
Yeah, it came back hard. I mean, puck luck came back hard in the span of 4 minutes, guys.
True, very true.
Oh, I think now the comment in the chat is the refs don't make that call, the Sharks lose. Well, if I was, if I had a lot more money, I certainly wouldn't be here. I mean, we can do the what if game all day. It was what it was.
For me, when I look at the penalties, I look at, are the penalties being called fairly for both teams? And that's the main issue that I think, like for game 2, game 3, potentially even game 4, there were sometimes calls were being made towards Vegas.
Well, there was one, I think it was like game 2, the Sharks had 8 power play chances. But then the very next game, Vegas had 9 power play chances. So again, it's that whole idea of the pendulum swings both ways. Today, the pendulum swung, thankfully, in the Sharks' direction.
Yeah. I'm so safe to say the most important game 7 in Sharks history, or most exciting game 7 in Sharks history.
I think it's the most exciting. I think the most important one was
Nashville.
Probably round 2. Yeah, Nashville.
Which, because I think that was the Nashville one, I think was even more important because that game that should have been over in game 5.
That's true. Right.
And round 3 was in
St. Louis.
6. No, I'm talking about round 3, 6.
Yeah, it was 5-7-6.
But and that game felt like it was like game 7 because I didn't think they could win in 7 in, I think it was St. Louis. So yeah.
And being pointed out in the chat, let's be honest, even if I did have more money, I'd still be here. Yeah, but it would look a lot more well produced. And there'd be much more expensive things on my walls. Much more Sharks merch. But
oh my goodness. I mean, Jonathan Marchessault going off the deep end. Greg Wyshynski retweeting the entire excerpt. Go read it for yourselves, guys. I don't want to get through it, but yeah. Off the deep end.
All right. Okay, we have to get into this right now. Right effing now. Now, this was just put out by our buddy, Christian, in the chat. And I got to say, this is gold, and I may be updating my avatar, but ladies and gentlemen, I give you the new logo.
I love it.
Well done, Christian.
You win the chat tonight. You win the chat tonight, Christian.
Christian, you've just won. That was fantastic. You know what? And in fact, I like this so much. I'm gonna give you a prize. I don't know if it's a bobblehead or something, but dude, hit me up. Hit me up on the Twitter machine, dude. You get a prize for that because that is bomb, dude.
Congrats, you got Kayla.
Yeah. The hell you say.
Jerry, thank you very much. And I love his comment here. Move over, Miracle on Manchester. This is the shock on Santa Clara.
Yeah. No, that might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It's fantastic, man. Oh my god, now that needs to be put on a shirt. So, and then of course, getting back, have we heard anything by any chance on Pavelski?
Yeah, Kevin Kerr saying further to this, asked if Thornton saw Pavelski after the game. He said, I saw him and he looks good. He looks good. He reiterated that twice, and he says, I'm happy.
Okay. Well,
it's going to be interesting how he wakes up tomorrow, see if he has any concussion symptoms or potentially anything worse. So
I totally agree. And he already had the mouth issues going on there, and not great.
And it's expected that game 1 is going to be Friday.
Yeah.
That's what I heard too. Game 1 should be Friday as well because of that Washington Jerks series going to 7 as well.
And hey, how about a shout out to Mike Nevis? This could all be his doing for all we know.
Yeah, well, you know what?
That's
yeah, exactly. I mean, Mike Nevis, guys, he was an original. Following us from the very beginning. We're going to have him in our thoughts and prayers, and forever, because he was just kind of integral.
Had the same kind of sarcasm I have, and I loved it. But yeah, and see, this is let's be honest. He knows that we're on after every game, and if he had anything to do with this, you could totally say this would be so Mike. It wouldn't be a sweep. It would be like this.
Yeah. Exactly. And we lost him this season, and I think it's very emotional and very raw still. But yeah, Mike, we know you're smiling wherever you're at, and you're tuned in too, buddy, and we miss you.
What's funny is Fleury and Jones' save percentages are almost identical.
895, 896.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. So anyway, I think now is a good time to start doing a little bit more with the chat. If anybody has any questions, again, Rainmaker, Mike Nevis was just one of the first guys that ever started watching us. We've been doing this now for 4 years. And in fact, we got called out today on Twitter because evidently, for the longest time, our thing has always been join us for your only live and interactive post-game show. And somebody wrote back and said, only? And they pointed to somebody else. And I went, and I didn't respond, but it's well, that's been our tagline forever, because forever we were the only ones doing this. And now, if other people want to ride our coattails, we got plenty of room for that. That's not a big deal. But I guess we should just change it to the original or the first or something along those lines.
Hey, you know what? Our 400 live post games and counting kind of speak for themselves. So
that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, we got a lot of shows on here, and I'm working on I'm working on getting Drew Remenda in, because of course we want to hear about that. Okay, I'm just gonna put this out here now in the chat. Ari, you're one comment away from getting banned for life. Show some respect. Saying Pavelski should have gotten a penalty for flopping is one of the most idiotic things I've ever seen. You don't say bad things about a player when they take an injury like that. I don't care if they play on the team that you were rooting against. You don't root for players to be hurt. So
yeah, and check my history, guys. You can see some more of that going on there too in the Twitter. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But AJ, you're totally right there. And anybody wishing ill will because on a player, who's visibly injured. I mean, it's sports, people. Let's get real.
Ari's gone. Have a nice life. So do we have the radio call from Kevin? Let's see what I can come up with. Oh, you know what? We do have audio about the Golden Knights. Let's see if I can pull that up.
Goodbye.
There you go.
Perfect. You know what? Perfect. Chris, I just see you peeking up here on the live stream. So what are your thoughts, man?
Let him in while I get this audio going.
All right,
damn shark kept me up past my bedtime. I'm normally in bed by now, and what the hell? But holy crap, man! My wife heard me screaming when they scored that goal. Oh man, this team, shoot, they were dead twice. dead at 3-1, dead at 3 down. Yeah, shit. I don't even know what to say about it.
Jason Eakins tweeting in 91% of teams close out a series when leading 3-1. Also, Chris, hashtag it was 3-0.
The
Yep,
Sharks had
hashtag it was 3-0.
Yeah, the Sharks had a 1% chance when the penalty was called to come back, and of course, they 4 goals later.
They used all 1%, man.
Yeah. Hey, 1% means it does happen occasionally. It doesn't happen very often, but somebody wins the lottery. All these things happen. But yeah, they were
1.19%.
Yeah. I think you said the other night, Landi, it was 28 teams have ever done it. Well, make it 29 now. And first in franchise history.
Exactly.
For once, they get to be on the right side of the historical comeback, not on the wrong side of it.
This is exactly what I'm saying. It's the fact that the Sharks are finally on the winning side, that the karma pendulum swung in their direction.
Yeah, no, and AJ totally right. And for me, this makes up this.
This guy's got to make an appearance, of course.
No, this is great. I log off now. I can hear Chris, but now I can't hear Eric. So,
we love Google, but
shit ever.
Just keep on refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. For me, this is redemption for 14, and
I agree with you, but the Sharks need to win the cup in order to make this feel redemptive, because what made it 3-1 sting was the Kings won that year, so it stood with us longer, just because every time they came back, or we saw the highlights, that was basically recapped. This is not over yet. I hope that Friday doesn't really become if the game is. Do Sharks host game 1, or would it?
Yeah, dude. They
Sharks.
We're the highest seed left in the West.
I just kind of forgot that Colorado was.
Yeah, no, they have. Yeah. They literally have home ice for the next 2 rounds, dude. If they go that far.
If they go that far. But
yeah, and then
I just hope they're not overthinking game 1, because yes, you came back from 3-0. Don't overthink Colorado, because Colorado is actually a very bad matchup for the Sharks.
You know what, dude? I think that Colorado is so far from the mind right now. I think that they are literally just picking up the pieces, taking stock of what they've got left, and enjoying tonight's victory.
A lot of injuries.
And they actually enjoy this.
Vegas is a lot more disciplined and a lot more, steady than Colorado is, in my opinion. Like, Colorado's got more speed, but they're definitely, like, Vegas, just every aspect of their game is very strong. That's the reason why they gave the Sharks so much trouble.
Let's talk about Kent here in the chat. Vegas is screaming that Eakins' penalty was BS. To a certain extent, I agree with that, because it should have been Stastny, not Eakins. They can sit there and say that the penalty was BS. Thank you so much, John. They can sit there and say the penalty was BS all they want. Fact is, that's the way that it was called on the ice. And for the longest time, from here on out, you can sit there and go, that call was BS, just like Buffalo Sabres fans say foot in the crease for the last 20 years.
And we've had to hear the same exact crap about, this bad call, that bad call, whenever the Sharks are on the wrong side of it. We always say, shut up and go away. The Sharks did this, that's, there's always a whole bunch of things. So it's like, we always get to hear it. So yeah, take your medicine, enjoy it. Sometimes there are bad calls. That one bad call did not, blow the 3-0 lead. That one bad call did not blow the 3-1 lead. I mean, the Sharks looked dead after game 5. They were, game 4. They looked like they were dead in the water. Dunzo.
That's the whole point, though, is you can sit there and go, oh, the Eakins call was bullshit. Okay, so what was bullshit in game 5? What was bullshit in game 6? The fact of the matter is, Vegas, now, hey, we're kind of in the same boat. Game 2, we were all sitting here saying, hey, that Couture taking the goal away and calling interference, that was bullshit. And a lot of people, the NHL Network, all those people agreeing and saying, yeah, that was bullshit. And then you see what happens with the Boston-Toronto game, and that ends up getting a goal. So you can sit there and, say it's bullshit either way. Fact of the matter is, Vegas won 3 games in a row and couldn't close it out. And you know what? The Sharks have been there. We were reverse swept. Okay.
Christian in the chat there, Vander Kane apparently just tweeted saying the effect of unbelievable and over till it's over. What a circus it was, the Shark Tank tonight with the clown emoji.
Dude, don't tell me it's the Shark Tank. But for me, dude, for the next 2 months, if we can keep this going, dude, it's the big top, baby.
All right, guys.
Speaking of
guys,
which,
I wanna quickly go over something though, and this should end all discussion about this. Rule 609: cross-checking. Cross-checking is the action of using the shaft of the stick between 2 hands to forcefully check an opponent on with no portion of the stick on the ice. A minor or major penalty shall be assessed for the cross-checking of an opponent. A major plus a game misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player who injures an opponent as a result of a cross-check. End scene. Done. Good night. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
and with that, we go to one Mr. Dan Ruzanowski.
Martin being checked by Theodore. Puck came out, but Erik Karlsson intercepts. Moves across the line, lead. Barclay Goodrow gets around the defense, shoots, he scores! Barclay Goodrow is the hero for the Sharks in overtime in Game 7. The Sharks were down by 3 goals. They came back, they took the lead, and then after Vegas tied it, Barclay Goodrow is the big man on campus. Sharks win 5-4, and they win the series in 7.
Big man on campus, really, Ruzy? Really?
Christine, thank you so much. 1999. Really appreciate it.
Oh, man. Do you know how many red noses
We're partying like it's 1999.
Yeah, we can get so many red noses with 1999. Let me tell you.
I don't think I've heard Ruzy's voice like crack and be that distorted in ever. I mean,
it was probably the Stanley Cup goal, the overtime goal, or
Donskoy, yeah.
Actually, I'm getting more flashbacks to Joe Starkey when the 49ers came back from 38 to 14.
Was this the Owens?
2002, yeah, the Owens.
T.O. catch?
No, not that one. That's a good one too, but I was thinking the Giants.
He caught it.
That's a really good one too. He caught it. When he got to tie streets there back, it was 2002 against the Giants when they were again dead.
But now
197 viewers right now. You guys have watched through an entire hour of our little podcast. We really appreciate it. Again, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. That really helps us out. Super chat donations, Ramon, thank you so much. And you know what, guys, we don't ask for anything. We do this for the fans. We do this for you guys and gals, and really appreciate everybody chiming in. And sorry, AJ.
Yeah,
back to you.
Well, just a heads up to everybody. If you have California or NBCSN California, they are replaying the game right now. But they only have a 2-hour block, so I don't know if they're going to compress it for time. Chances are the third period will be played in full.
And overtime.
Skip the second period, go straight to the third.
Yeah. So for DVR alert for those of you who have it, there you go. So again, do us a favor if you would, please hit the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. For Instagram, we do pregame report every single game day. We throw up some funny images. Today we had some good clown photos featuring Gerard Gallant and Peter DeBoer, actually. So had some good times with that. Let's talk about the other elephant in the room, boys, if we could.
Chris is a White Walker.
Oh, whoa. What the hell does that mean?
Wait, what?
Exactly. Give me.
Excuse me, sir.
Hold on. Explain that. I want to know.
A White Walker, Game of Thrones. Don't.
Oh crap. Okay, never mind. Here we go.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Now, as you know, or you may not, there was another Game 7 played tonight. Not nearly as exciting as this one.
Kind of a snooze fest, to be frank.
Yeah. But the Boston Bruins finally did dispatch the Toronto Maple Leafs in 7. I got to be honest, that series went longer than I thought it was going to go for. I thought Toronto was going to be out at least. The most they were going to go was 6, and I was pulling for them. I was because F Boston.
Good for Boston. I'm not too sure they've had any playoff success in the last decade. So good for Boston having some playoff success.
Oh, F you.
See, I was rooting for Toronto because you all know my connections to Toronto, all my coworkers, all lovely stuff. And then I saw Justin Bieber was there rooting for Toronto. I'm like,
and Drake.
Done.
That was the one. I was like, oh, this is Drake.
Wait a
Drake
minute.
at least is from there, I think.
Whoop-de-doo. He's from Canada. Who cares? AO in the chat. Everyone knew Boston was going to win, and everyone knew Tampa was going to win.
Tell all my coworkers in their busted brackets right now.
Yeah,
between Tampa and the Leafs, they are screwed.
And everybody knew Calgary was going to win. And everybody knew Winnipeg was going to win. I mean,
Vegas.
Come on.
I would say Calgary was the one that was like, I have 1 or 2 undercards I usually pick against, and that was the one I was picking against.
Well, I took St. Louis in my bracket. I took the Islanders in my bracket. But yeah, I took Tampa in my bracket. I took Calgary. But I did take Boston. Or actually, you know what? I might have taken
Boston
the Maple Leafs. See, I think I actually had the Leafs in 7, so that it actually went that far. I'm shocked. But I just because I just can't root for Boston.
I know we're looking at both these teams, Bruins in Toronto and Marlowe playing the same day. The Sharks make this amazing comeback, but do you guys look at Marlowe any differently with him not really having the same level of success in Toronto?
No,
not really.
Because it seems like he's not really been the clutch player. He's always not really been.
But here's the best part, though. Here's the best part, though. Toronto is done.
Canada's done.
Who do you want to open the door for game 1?
I know exactly where you're going with that.
That's soon. Right. Tavares, bitches. Could have had
14 million.
Guys, I'm looking at the playoff bracket and just seeing that little teal icon moving into the next phase. It brings a tear to my eye.
It's a beauty.
They did it.
Yeah,
I cannot believe it.
And again, you got to go back to the whole just where this team was after game 4. Like,
yeah, they were done. They were toast. I mean, Martin Jones not talking to media. I mean, you gotta feel great for him. Like, I've heard a few people like, "Oh, what now, Jones haters?" Like, no, he was awful in those games, and I'm glad though. Instead of just going completely into the tank, he found a way to get his head right and put together 3 really good games.
Well, and based on the numbers tonight, he wasn't great. But tonight was one of those games where it's like, yeah, okay, 895 save percentage, but he made some huge saves tonight. And then set a record in game 6. So, I mean, yeah, great response, of course, from Jones. And I'm sure it'll be nice for him to have a couple days. And when Colorado gets here, that they get to start at home again. And like we pointed out, it's as long as they keep going, they have home ice throughout.
Yeah. It just, again, it's surreal.
Oh my God, dude. You know who opens the game, the door for game 1? Bozo.
I was thinking, actually, this game should have been Pennywise. Just said Pennywise. We all float down here, Vegas Knights.
Dude, yes. We need a whole clown car. Dude, if Sharky does not come out in game 1, like we've seen him rappel, we've seen him come out on an ATV. Dude, he has to come out on a clown car.
Oh, gosh, yes. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the shark head is kind of a clown car because there's no way that shark is that big, but the players just keep coming out. Fits, right?
Oh, dude, put a big red ball nose on the front of the shark head as they come out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I know. You know what? Next year when we play Vegas in the regular season, I just want to see the starting lineup with clown noses all on their faces when they take the opening draw.
Well, Here's another kind of like elephant in the room, and I don't want to believe me, I'm not going down this rabbit hole, but this series, I've never heard so much talk from fans from one side and fans from the other talking about how horrible the other team's barn is and the fans that are there. Like a lot of Vegas fans saying, oh, Sharks fans are garbage and they gave us a ton of shit, or they did this or they did that. And then I hear from Sharks fans that, oh, we went to Vegas for game 3 and a bunch of Vegas fans told us to fuck off and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I've never, I've heard good-natured razzing. And
I heard that all the time from LA Kings fans.
Yeah, I've heard it go back and forth a little bit, but with LA Kings, not with the vitriol that I've seen. And at least with LA, you can sit there and go, okay, well, there's a history.
Of course.
Jesus Christ.
NorCal, SoCal, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But one playoff round.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And guys, the thing that I have respect for the Kings, right? I mean, we might not like them. There are players that are really just but I mean,
fans suffered for 40 years. I mean,
dude, I'm laughing at Jerry with the comment of the night so far. There's so many elephants in this room. Stomper's going to make an appearance.
This is a circus, so yeah, there are a lot of elephants in this room.
But
Jerry,
yeah, but
go ahead. You're going to have background music.
Just vamp over the circus.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like I said, I have respect for the LA Kings, as a team and stuff, but some of the stuff that I saw tonight was just incredible, and I don't know how people can really wish certain things upon other people, and there is a lot of vitriol between these two fan bases, and it wouldn't surprise me if they might be a larger rivalry now than the Kings.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely the number
now
one
it is
right now.
Well, you know what? You know why it's a big rivalry is because who did Vegas play last season? They swept LA. Then the Sharks took them as far as they were taken. I forget who they beat in the third round, but I know it was
Winnipeg.
And that was I can't remember. It was like 5 games.
Like a 5-game series.
Yeah, because the Sharks took them as long as they'd gotten, and then they lost the final. So the Sharks, I don't know, just LA isn't, the reason why something like this becomes this rivalry is because they're scared of you. It's like, I hate the Sharks. Why? Because they beat us, or they're the team that, I don't care about LA. We can beat LA. That was I used to really hate Vancouver because it seemed like the Sharks would always just drop that one game you needed, and it was always coming against Vancouver. I started to hate Vancouver. I don't hate Vancouver very much right now.
And by the way, I think that, this is said in the chat by a few people, there's a lot of very cool Vegas fans and a lot of very good people. There are good people on both sides.
Both sides, yes. But
no,
that's the whole thing. You cannot paint a fan base with one broad brush based on the actions of idiots, because every single fan base has their share of idiots and morons. Does Philadelphia have a little more than their share? Perhaps.
Philadelphia, has
sure you can look at
everybody's share. They have more. They have some of everybody's. What do you call that? It's like revenue sharing, except for shitty fan sharing.
Yeah, no,
I this. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, for me at least, I made a comment, and it just was really in the heat of the moment and stuff, and you know what? I don't mean that all Vegas fans are mean spirited and stuff, but again, just from the things that I saw tonight, it made my blood curdle. It really did.
No, it is that time of the year though when playoffs. You see this with every fan base: Toronto and Boston, Sharks in LA. But it is weird to see it with Vegas though, just because we've had a 2-year run with this against this franchise. So,
Eric, you want to hear the good news?
Yeah,
Eric. The good news is after tonight, Vegas fans, you're not going to hear from them for the next 5 months. They have nothing to talk about. And then I saw something in the chat. Check
what I just retweeted right now.
I'm a little busy. When is Zach Croft going to open the door? Now is there a more dedicated fan? Okay, every game day, doing a 45-second video takes dedication. Doing a post-game show for an hour to an hour and a half every game day, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just if anything,
AJ, shut up.
Everybody calm down. If anything, Zach has to not open the door from the locker room. He has to be the guy who opens the door to the penalty box. So when they come in, he goes, "Stay out of the penalty box."
Yeah, there you go.
I knew exactly where that was going. Guys, a couple more updates on Pavelski. LeBanc saying he was rooting for us the whole way. He'll probably be back for the next series. Shang doing a great job with all the quotes. He's saying he wouldn't take the player predictions about Pavelski's return. You take that with a grain of salt, but the key takeaways are that they are speaking about this being kind of a more short-term injury. So I think that's a good sign, because it's not like there's a hush over the room. You got to worry about, if the guy is going to the hospital or anything like that. So I feel better.
It's short term, but I do think he's going to miss the first game, and he's going to come back for game 2. I think that's what's more likely, just because the severity of concussions. Maybe you don't want to rush him back too fast. Then you're potentially missing more games down the road. That's the issue with Pavelski.
I draw your attention to the lovely thing I'm screen sharing here.
Oh, bless you.
No tree fitty here, Steve. Just
nice.
Yes.
You know what's really jacked up is, okay, so Pavelski lost teeth, right? The dude literally lost teeth.
And he's to the balls.
And missed a shift. Okay, hold on. We're talking about Pavelski. He took a shift off after missing teeth. And today it's gets a head injury. If he comes back in game 1 versus Colorado after what he sustained in game 1 and what he sustained in game 7, there are no excuses in the room for anybody. Zero, nada, zilch, you done. Oh my God. Let's see if we.
All right, guys, I'm actually gonna check out. So have a good rest of the show. Don't go too late, AJ.
Oh,
we're gonna go 6 more hours. All right.
He's out cold on the ice, and he kind of looked like he was seizuring up a little bit. So tough to see, man. Real tough to see, but. Got to give credit to Jumbo. As soon as we got to that bench, he said, "You guys go out and you get effing 3 goals right now." And when a guy that's played 20 years orders you around like that, bosses you around, you got to go do it. So we did. We got 4. You see.
So if he's saying seizuring up, then it had to be something of a brain.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So he's probably guaranteed to miss at least 1 game.
And Thunder 13 saying Couture said he's not sleeping tonight. I haven't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least. But I love the fact where Jimbo just told the bench, go get 3 fucking goals, go tie this up. That is fantastic. And that's the way to rally. You had the whole thing of win it for Jimbo, and now it's like win it for Cap, win it for Jimbo. Shit, win it for anybody named Joe on the goddamn team at this point, okay?
Great overall effort. But man, I'm really worried about Pavelski when he wakes up tomorrow, because that's when usually symptoms show up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always that following day. That's going to be significant. Being told that some things were tweeted to me, and looking right now, and yeah, I don't want to look at that. I appreciate you sending it to me, but holy hell, I don't want to see that, because okay. It's not fair that I don't share this. So if you have a light constitution, I'm going to tell you all to darken your screen or turn off, keep listening to us, but
look away.
Yeah, look away. This is not an image that you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. But what it does do is it does prove how significant this injury is. So here we go. And this is the shot of Pavelski. And as you can see, he's leaking significantly from the dome. And so for any Vegas fan trying to say that he flopped or whatever, you know what? You can go fuck yourself. I wouldn't wish that on Ryan Reeves. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And if there was one person I would wish it on, it would be Ryan Reeves, but I still wouldn't do it. And somebody needs to throw the hammer at Luke now. Thank you. Thank you for making it easy to find the
the hatred for a fan base.
No. It's no, I like it when people just like show you who they are in one tweet and then boom, or one comment, and you can just go, okay, you've shown us who you are. And again, it's to sit there and I don't know, to hear some of the Vegas fans, and again, I'm not painting an entire fan base, but to see some of the vitriol coming out of there, and then to see a lot of Vegas fans defend some of this, and it's like, are you for real? Like, would you really defend that? But it's unfortunately in the times that we live in where everything is so tribalism that if you don't wear the same color as me, then anything you're for is just wrong and I'm right for everything. So anyway, I don't want to go Politica Fiesta, but I'm just saying, like, people we're talking a bigger picture here. It's a fucking human being. Okay. I don't give a shit what shirt, what jersey he's wearing. Have some fucking respect.
Looking at the post-game comments, I'm gonna probably look at it more tomorrow, but I wonder if any of the Sharks players thought it was a dirty hit, and that was one of the main reactions, or it was just seeing Captain Pavelski essentially showing seizure symptoms and unable to get off the ice on his own. I
don't know. It's just something you don't want to ever see, and so when I see some of that stuff online, I know it's the whole thing of, don't feed the trolls, but that's why God invented the block button. So you don't need look, I'm willing to hear other people's opinions and stuff that doesn't agree with my own outlook, but to sit here and say that oh, he needs a tampon or, he flopped again, go fuck yourself. Like, that's the easiest way I can say it. Dude, we're like, Christopher, I love you, bro, and I thank you for sending me that image. I'm not sharing the other one because it's so overused. The last thing we need is another goddamn Michael Jordan meme. So moving on.
Those are the worst memes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm so tired of Michael Jordan. like at one point, do we Michael Jordan memes? You know what I mean?
He's already done that.
Yeah. Oh, of course. So anyway, we're heading off to Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I shouldn't say we're heading up. We're going to face them, but first two games will be at the Tank. Likely, chances are we're not going to hear a schedule or a time release until Thursday morning. Typically, the NHL likes to, wait until everything is wrapped up in a nice, tidy little bow. And as we know, Washington, Carolina, oh, hey, 2 Game 7s and it wasn't enough. We need a third one, and that's playing tomorrow. Carolina, Washington, go #bunch of jerks. I'm rooting for you, Carolina. I'm rooting for you. It didn't work for Toronto, so I'll put all my energy into you. And then Thursday, I'm quite sure we'll hear about times and everything like that. And I'm assuming Game 1 will be on Friday. Yes. And Game 2 will likely be on Sunday. So look for, plan your lives accordingly, as Randy Hahn likes to say, and you can look forward to more street rallies. You can look forward. So far, we've seen what have our towels been so far? Of Pavelski, Thornton, Burns, and today was Couture. So I'm assuming Game 1's going to be Hurdle. If it's not, there's a problem somewhere. But we get another towel and we get some more fun. And now asking for series predictions. Now I've said this before, and it goes. I'll say it again. I don't like making predictions because if you get it wrong, you look like a know nothing, and if you get it right, you look like a pompous ass, like sitting there patting yourself on the back. Now that said, Sharks in 6. But I have no idea. It's gonna be tough with these injuries. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the guys look like they don't really have much gas left. But you know what? Just on pure talent alone, I agree with you. Sharks in 6. Nathan McKinnon's a guy on fire, though. And
Yeah.
And Grubauer's having a good run.
yeah, that he is.
The thing with Colorado is they match up pretty well against the Sharks, though. They have
Sharks
speed.
did go 3-0 against them this season.
They did, but we did let in a bunch of goals every single time we faced Colorado. And the Sharks defense is still kind of iffy. I would say Sharks in 7. And that's
well,
I think
and
this is gonna be another series where you're gonna need Donsko to come back. I don't know if he's showing any symptoms at all of concussions. It seems like it was just a massive hit. But you need Donskoy in there, not Haley. And regardless if it was Calgary, you still need Donskoy.
Yeah. And let me also, for the Vegas fans, let me also say one other. Let me give you 3 words that are. Thank you, Laurel. Let me offer you 3 words that were the common denominator in 4 Sharks wins. Those 3 words are Mark Edward Vlasic. He played in all 4 games the Sharks won. He did not play in the 3 that they lost. Or I should say, after the first period of the second game, he didn't play in the next games. So
also scoring the first goal helps a lot.
Yeah, and not letting one in the first minute of every period.
True, but this was the first time in the series that the team that scored the first goal didn't win. Also, it's the first time a team with a 3-0 lead didn't win.
It was 3-0, people. It was 3-0.
All right. Well, guys, I think we should start to wrap it up and then head into after dark. But I guess let's do handle time. AJ?
I wanted to take that into a different place, but I won't. AJ_strong on the Twitter, on the Instagram. That's where you can find me. And guess what, kids? The round 1 wraps up tomorrow. So expect a hot, off the presses, brand new Pucknologist show, which will be wrapping up the entire first round, including some talk about some, shall we say, matchups that didn't occur, including the colors teal and gold. So look forward towards that.
All right, Al, you know the drill.
You can find me on Twitter, Al Martinet. God, this was a tiring game, but I loved it. One of the best games to watch I've in the last 5 years. Looking forward to Friday or even Thursday.
And I'm at Eric Landi. You can use my first name spelled the right way with a K and my last name Landi on all the social media garbage. And again, thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. We topped out at over 200. AJ, you got one more thing to say?
Yes, I do. And we would be remiss if we did neglect it. Game 4. This is a must-win for the CUDA, who are down 2-1 right now in their series. Remember, the AHL, it is best of 5. They are down 2-1 in their series. Game 4, CUDA versus the Gulls, tomorrow night at the Tank. First 4,000 fans get the rally towel. You got 20-ounce beers and hot dogs for $5. Free parking for cars of 4 or more. So hungry for more, hashtag it. Calder Cup playoffs at the Tank tomorrow with the Barracuda and the Gulls. So go check them out. Very entertaining game. And I'm quite sure that following that, we will have Kevin Lacey bringing you Barracuda After Dark tomorrow night.
Well, if you liked what you heard, come and check us out on the website, tealtownusa.com. You can also find us on all of these media platforms: iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, and of course the YouTube replays. AJ, with that, I always butcher the ending, so why don't you go ahead and do it for us?
But keep the screen on you. With that, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Good night, everyone. See you after dark.